Okay, so right, guys, I'm going to get started, I think. Thanks very much for all your attendance today. Today we've got two companies who are going to do a 5-minute pitch, and that will be followed by some questions and answers from everybody. We have Spruce and Connor Wilson going to be speaking first, followed by Finan O'Donoghue with Campsited. So you're all very welcome to do that. So please, as the speakers are talking, if you've got any questions, please send them through the Q&A session. And we will and hopefully try and answer all of those questions as they come through, during the Q&A. So I think without further ado, I'm going to give the camera and also the microphone over to Connor so he can do his pitch. So if you just bear with me while I make a couple of changes here, and I think he should now have the camera and also the microphone. Connor, over to you.
Hi guys. Okay, I'll just get up my presentation. Hopefully my screen's visible there. Rushed right to the end. Great. Okay, so my name's Connor Wilson. I'm the CEO and the original founder of Spruce. Spruce is Spruce is an online platform that connects busy people with a range of on-site amenities and also local offerings. Amenities include the likes of yoga classes, dry cleaning services, or even dental appointments, for example. And then local offerings can include discounts at local bars or restaurants, for example. And all this is visible or even bookable on our phone app. So we're solving the problem then for 3 groups of people. We have professionals mainly, so these are very busy people who have shown a willingness to pay for convenience, online convenience, where services are delivered to them. And then we have corporate clients who are trying to bring in amenities for their staff and for their tenants, but struggle to promote and manage all of these on-site amenities, activities, and services. And then finally, we have high street businesses. So these are dry cleaners, barbers, physiotherapists who can't adapt to new consumer expectations, that being bringing their services out of their shop and right to the customer. So to solve that, we've created a centralized platform allowing amenities managers within corporate companies to easily introduce, promote, and manage their on-site amenities for their staff and tenants. And we started only with laundry and dry cleaning, and we're now building those services out. The product then looks like this. There are 3 parts to it. We have a booking app for tenants and staff to easily view the list of all the services, curated services available to them on site, and also book those services. We then have an amenities dashboard that's used by amenities managers to introduce vendors, create new activities, and then to promote those activities via the app. Also then we have an order management dashboard for local businesses if they want to avail of that, and if they want to avail of taking payments online through our platform. So the route to market for us is really easy. It's primarily direct selling to corporate clients who then can introduce their own local vendors who come in on site. We also directly sell to the vendors ourselves. And then the corporate client can then promote Spruce and all the services within Spruce to their staff or to their tenants. So it's a really quite simple business model. And we charge in 3 ways then. We charge as software as a service, so an annual subscription to the corporate clients, and also a monthly subscription to the service providers, so the businesses, local businesses that want to use the software themselves, even for their home customers. And then we take a commission on all of the sales that go through the app, and we take that instantly. Based on that revenue model then, and based on the size of the industry in terms of the number of corporates across the UK and Ireland, of which there are around 244,000, with around 9.7 million individuals who could avail of this service. We anticipate the market for our software to be around 188 million every year. And we're looking to acquire around 2,000 corporates by the end of 2022, with revenues in excess of 7 million. We're off to a good start. Over the past 6 months, we've grown from 2,000 to around, just shy of 7,000 monthly recurring revenue. We've also built up a pretty substantial customer base. So clients include, we have 84 clients, but here are a few. Amazon, we're working with all 5 of their Irish offices. KPMG, we're working with both of their Dublin offices. We're looking to, in terms of a rollout strategy, we're now looking to upsell the SaaS to all of these clients and then leverage their sister offices. LinkedIn, for example, have 11 sister offices around the world, and they've already had a discussion with us in terms of rolling our software out to all of their locations worldwide. We're not the only ones in the industry competing. There are big names, actually. So there's the likes of Aramark and Kennedy Wilson, who have developed or are developing their own concierge apps, effectively targeting the on-site services. And then you have the likes of Building Link, who effectively are a building management company. They have an app to allow building managers to manage on-site amenities as well. Incidentally, Spruce are being used by all 3 of these companies. They've already integrated us into their software, so obviously they could ultimately be an exit for us. As I mentioned, over the next 3 to 4 years, we anticipate revenues in excess of 7 million euros, coming primarily from SaaS fees, software as a service, rather than commission. And we'd look to break even in 2020, primarily spending any investment on sales staff and on improving the technology and adding more services. So we have a very well-rounded management team. The core founders are myself and Pat. I have an engineering or a petroleum engineering background before founding Spruce. Pat's a software developer. We then also are being advised by Galen Bales down the bottom right there. He's very well connected in the industry that we're selling into. He founded a facilities management company that ultimately serviced 10% of all the high-end apartment blocks across Dublin. And then he founded a technology company that had several offices worldwide. He's also leading this investment round and has already invested. He's proof of concept right there. So we're seeking 350,000 euros to achieve our plan. 200,000 euros of that will come from private investors at a 2 million pre-money valuation, as you see on the Spark crowdfund. And then as an Enterprise Island high potential startup company, we're also eligible for match funding of up to 250, but more realistically 150,000 euros. Additionally, then we're an EIS approved company, so on any investment that you make, you can get up to 40% of that back against tax. And that pretty much summarizes my deck. Any questions?
Thank you very much, Connor. Let me just switch back over to me as host, if I can do that somehow. Bear with me. I think that's done it. So thank you very much. And I have a couple of questions that have come through. Can I just put these to you, Connor, if I could?
Sure.
So the first one that's come through is your site seems to be a bit laundry specific. Is that no longer the case then?
Yeah, so we use laundry as a way to get into the market. We were told by a few people who have grown up technology companies in the past to not try and do everything at once. Laundry dry cleaning was a service that was being offered by most big corporate companies for their staff. So as a route into the market, and to build up a big customer base, we built the technology and with only laundry as the primary service, with then the ultimate goal of building out that service base and building out the amenities available on the app, and effectively cross-selling.
Very good. Another question coming here saying, how do you see the company reacting to a recession?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So obviously, in terms of selling software as a service to corporate clients, they are just about ad hoc managing to bring in more amenities and events and all the rest for their staff. So you could argue, well, why would they want, when during a recession, would they just get rid of all the kind of non-essentials? One kind of protection that we have is actually the phone app. So if I gave you an example, in KPMG, who are one of our clients, they're in their office purely with the dry cleaning alone. They already have 200 people who are actively using the Spruce app on their phone. So they have the app on their phone, and that creates a stickiness that would be quite difficult to firstly displace if you were a competitor, but even if you were to try and effectively remove Spruce as an offering to your staff, you'd effectively be telling them to undownload an app. Trying to get hundreds of people or thousands of people to undownload an app would be a challenge in itself. So that's the protection during a recession.
Very good. Thanks very much, Connor. Another question, and I'll just do 2 or 3 more. One of the ones that's come in here is Galen Bales involved as an advisor? What role does Galen have in the business?
So Galen's an advisor and an investor. He has introduced us to a few clients because he's actually selling to a similar customer base as us at the moment. But his primary role is as an advisor. So he was actually the founder of W39, which was a facilities company in Dublin. And then now he's the director of Building Link, who are again using technology to help manage effectively the facilities within a corporate client. So he's incredibly knowledgeable in the industry, and he's very well known in the industry as well. So so he's effectively advising on a lot of the key moves and strategy moves that we make. We run them past him before we, go out and make too many mistakes.
Very good. Okay. Another question here is, why did you choose to crowdfund the company rather than just having private investors?
Sure. Well, we're obviously we have a customer base at the moment for 4,500 on the app. So a crowdfund gave us the advantage of really going out to existing customer base. We already had private investors who were committed to putting in big chunks of money. A really easy or a simple way we figured, and it seems to be working, of getting more investment is to go to our existing customer base who already know us and trust us and allow them to get involved. And crowdfunding was a really easy way to do that, because not everyone has, 5,000, 10,000 euros to put in. They might have as low as 100 euros and they just want to get involved. So that's really why we went for it. We already had a big.
Hello, Connor. Are you still there? Hello? Connor, you're frozen on me. Are you still there? Oh, we seem to have.
Can you hear me now?
Sorry, yeah. There was some problem there. I don't know whether it's my end or your end, but you froze on me. But anyway, I'll take it that you kind of.
Oh, sorry.
I'll take it that you completed your answer fully there. I've just got a couple more questions here. How would you scale internationally when the service is offered to local cities?
Yeah, so that was one of the biggest challenges that we figured we'd face. So what we've done is, as it turns out, and we've recently run a series of customer interviews with amenities managers, basically our point of contact in all of the big companies. We did it with Intel, Amazon, LinkedIn, Salesforce, a whole heap of them. And we said, with the goal of figuring out, if they're already bringing in the services themselves, would they happily introduce them or start bringing them on via the platform themselves, rather than us going out and trying to. It would be impossible for us to vet a local service provider like a jiu-jitsu guy, who'd come into Facebook in Silicon Valley. It'd be impossible for us to vet them from here, and we don't want to have feet on the ground everywhere. So what happens then instead is that the amenities manager within a corporate company, they're already going out and finding these people and vetting them themselves on a local level anyway. So we've really built the new platform to enable these big companies to bring on their existing or new local vendors, with the idea then ultimately of building up quite a big pre-vetted vendor list or local service provider list within an area. So when a new company that comes on, they not only can they bring on their existing services and service providers, but also see a range of new ones and possibly get ideas as well as a result of that. So really, that's how we've avoided.
Very good. We've got sorry, Connor. Thanks. No, we've got quite a few questions here. I'll ask one more, but what we'll do with the questions that have been asked that haven't been answered live on the webinar is that I'll get Connor to answer these manually to you as we later on, just after the actual webinar itself. So for the last question, then, we'd like to know, what is the repeat usage of the app?
Yeah, so we have a repeat use rate of around 67% at the moment. Our client base, as we started with laundry and dry cleaning, that has lent itself really to dry cleaning alone when it comes to corporates. So that can vary considerably. If you look at the clients that wear suits to work, across the average across them, so the likes of KPMGs and the big law firms, they're using it at a rate of 67% in terms of repeat use.
Very good. Okay, Connor. Well, listen, thank you very much for all of that. And hopefully all the attendees found that very useful. And so thanks very much. What I will do now is bring in Finon, who is CEO of Campsited. And Finon is going to give his 5-minute delivery now, and then there'll be Q&As for Finon afterwards as well. So Finon, if you just bear with me, I'm going to promote you to host, which means that you can do all the things that you need to do. And we will hopefully be able to hear you as well. I think we can hear you already. Okay. But if I make you host, that means we can see you and you can share your deck there. Thanks very much. Over to you then, Finon.
Okay. Well, hi everybody. Can you see this?
Yes, we can see the thing. Thanks very much, Finon. Yes,
page of the deck. Okay.
Yeah, we do.
Great. Well, look, thanks everybody for taking the time to join the webinar today. My name is Finon O'Donoghue and I am the founder of Campsited. I grew up in Killarney in County Kerry and spent all of my life and childhood there, hiking and exploring and camping in the surrounds of the town. All of our family holidays were also spent on caravan and camping sites, and they've given us some wonderful memories. My wife is also a keen outdoors enthusiast, and when we started having our own family a few years back, we decided to introduce them to the outdoor life early. We decided to do this by booking a camping holiday abroad. I went online to book the trip, and the process was absolutely excruciating. I spent hours, if not days, trawling through dozens of websites, none of which were really easy to use, and none of which had a comprehensive choice of bookable campsites around the world. And in this day of everything, an app for everything, from smart hairbrushes that teach you how to brush your hair better, to smart devices in your fridge to tell you if your eggs are still fresh. In this day of everything app. I didn't think it was acceptable that for the people who will spend 1 billion nights annually on campsites around the world, spending over 10 billion euros in the process on bookings, that there's no easy way for them to find and book those campsites. So I decided to do something about it and got to work creating campsited.com to be the easiest way for people to find and book every campsite around the world. And we got off to a great start. We raised our first round of funding in late 2015. We started to build out the app. We started to onboard campsites in the UK and Ireland. And then in late 2016, the worst imaginable thing happened. We ran out of funding. I thought the show was over. We had to temporarily say goodbye to our staff. I had to go back working to pay the bills. And faced with the prospect of the show being over, I did the only thing I could. I started to hustle like crazy. That hustling in 2017 led us to be recognized by Google as one of the hottest early stage companies in the country. A couple of weeks later, we were recognized in the Business Post Hot 100. And on the back of our winnings from the Google competition, we managed to grow conversions on the website by 300% in 2017. We also managed to form a partnership with one of the biggest B2B operators in the camping industry in Europe in 2017, and that enabled us to grow our bookable campsites by 500% to the end of 2017. On the back of this momentum, we closed our second round of funding, bringing our total funding to date to 1.3 million euros. And we've continued that momentum into 2018, when earlier this year, we were voted the best and most investable emerging Irish travel tech business by senior executives from companies like Delta Airlines, Intercontinental Hotel Group, and JetBlue Ventures in Silicon Valley. We're on track to grow our bookings by 600% this year, and by the end of the year, we will have 12 million available nights on the platform. This represents a gross booking value of 120 million euros, and the revenue potential from that at 12 to 15% commission is 12 to 18 million euros. We're raising 250,000 euros via Spark. We're also EIS pre-approved, and we will use that funding to do one thing and one thing only, and it is to scale bookings and revenue. And we will do that by using 4 methods. We will invest in paid marketing, content marketing and organic search optimization, growth marketing, and reseller partnerships. And on the reseller partnership front, we now have 5 resellers in place, one of which is this website here, outandaboutlive.co.uk. They get 5 million visitors a year to this website, and they're on track to get to 12 million visitors a year within the next 3 years. But that's just the start for Campsited. We have every intention to bring additional camping and outdoor adventure-related products onto the platform. And in doing so, we will tap into a market that is 20 times bigger than the campsite booking market. That is the adventure tourism, the adventure tourism market, which is worth over 200 billion euros annually. Thank you. Any questions?
Finon, thank you very much for that. Very good. Let me just fiddle around with this for a second. And I'm actually going to move Connor back to attendee. So thank you very much for that, Connor. Right, okay, Finon, yeah, I have a couple of questions that are in here already. So if I can fire away, please. I have a question here. Can you tell us a little bit more about the business model?
Yeah, so currently what we do is we take a 10 to 15% commission per booking. The way that works is that for high season arrivals, which is between the 1st of July and the 31st of August, we take a 10% commission. And then for arrivals on any other date outside of that range, we take 15% commission. And that also includes a commission on extras that are booked through Campsited as well.
Have a question here that's come in. What is your current burn rate, please?
Yeah, our current burn rate is about €20,000 a month.
Very good. Another question has come in, and how does the reseller partnership work?
Okay, I will just show you very quickly. So what we do is we set up a widget on the third-party site. And then, for example, the user can search for a campsite via the third party, and it redirects to our results. And what the user can then do is go ahead and fulfill their booking through campsited.com. And we also have, we can also have a fully white label solution whereby the entire end-to-end experience sits on the reseller website.
Very good. Thanks very much, Finon. If there are, I don't have any further questions. I'm just trying to see if there's anybody else that wants to send anything more in whilst we're still live. But even if you don't, if you'd like to drop me a line or info at Spark Crowdfunding, then we can answer those questions offline. One more has just come in. How do you think the company will react to a recession? Same question as Connor had there for you, though. Please, Finon.
Yeah, so I guess there's a couple of things there. I mean, Brexit obviously is very front and center for us, which could be of the same ilk as a recession in many ways. So what we're doing is we're building different language versions of the site. For example, this side of Christmas, we will launch a French version, and we will tap into the French domestic bookings market. Similarly, we will launch a Spanish version and tap into that domestic market if and as needed. But I guess what was really interesting is that we know in the last recession that campsite bookings actually went up. And the reason for that, excuse me, is that it's perceived as a lower cost holiday. And because of that, people just gravitate more towards it. So we would actually see as a recession as potentially a positive thing for our business.
Very good. Okay, one final question that's just come in is what's the income on revenues to 2021, please?
The what, sorry?
The income on your revenue from now until 2021. So I think you've got that really in front of you there, but
yeah, is it the margin, I wonder? So we've got
yes, I think so, Finon.
Yeah. So in 2019 we'll be loss making to the tune of about probably 500,000. In 2020 we will move to a profit making scenario of about 19%, and in 2021 then profit making to the tune of about 34%.
Very good. Okay, well, Finon, thank you very much for that. It was a great session, and hope that's everybody managed to get what they did from the webinar there. So I think really it's just for me just to very briefly wrap up and close. So yeah, we've heard obviously from Campsited there and from Spruce earlier on. They're both raising money on Spark Crowdfunding. Spruce is looking for 200,000, and Finon and Campsited are looking for 250. So please go onto our website, have a look at it. It's very easy to invest by just clicking the invest button. You don't have to pay anything straight away. You're just pledging initially, and then when the company reaches target, then that's when we will then start collecting the money in. So listen, thank you very much for everybody for attending, and we will be doing another one of these probably in the next fortnight or 3 weeks for the next batch of companies that are coming on board. But thank you very much for listening, and thanks very much, and goodbye to everybody.